Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Let's take a walk and go see what's in the fridge today. Hey guys, thanks for talking about Gregsbeerreviews today. Yeah, you probably recognize this label. I did this beer back in 2013, guys, and did it fresh. And then I actually had got my hand on 2 bottles. I bought one, and somebody sent me one, and both of those things happened the same day. The guy sent me one. I don't remember who it was now. I apologize. I didn't go back and look. I'm sure somebody will say, I sent you that beer, and I appreciate it. And I actually picked one up that day because I seen it. So the one I picked up, I put it in the closet and let it cellar, and we just did it a couple of weeks ago. And it was a 2013 edition of that beer that had been cellared since 2013. So it was 14, 15, 16, 17 years old. It was 4 years old. And believe it or not, it was still tasty. The hops had faded, but it was a 10% beer. Well, this one comes to me from my brother Rico, and the note he sent with it says, a 2017 Founder's Doom, a 12.4% Imperial IPA aged in bourbon barrels for 4 months. The older vintages were 10%, and I remember that. I could not find the IBUs in any of the sites. Actually, Untapped has it at 100 right now. Vintage year is on the bottom right hand of the label, next to the barcode. Didn't see the exact bottled on date, but this was just released this month. Could have either been bottled in April or May. They said he bought it last week, and it was $12.99, $13 for this great big bottle. And like I said, he tells me he reviewed the 2013 of this last month. And like I said, I had been cellaring it for basically 4 years. So this one's a lot bigger ABV, guys, at 12.4%. And being this big of a beer and being an Imperial Double IPA, this is about as fresh as you're going to get it. So I decided, well, I'm not going to sell this. I'm not going to set in the fridge for several months before I do it. I'm going to get it on. So let's get it on, guys. When I went to the sites before the beer review, Beer Advocate and Rate Beer both have the old version listed at 10%. They don't have the new one listed. Untapped does have the 2017 listed. So basically, we're not going to Beer Advocate or Rate Beer for any information on this beer, since they don't have the new one listed. So with that being said, the commercial description that Untapped has says, if I can get the damn tablet to work, electronics. Sometimes they work, sometimes they'll chap your ass. Doom may be impending, but doesn't mean you have to fear it. A collision of worlds. The intense hop character of our Imperial IPA mingles with the warm vanilla and oak notes imparted from the time spent in our favorite bourbon barrels. Like all good things, doom comes to those who wait. So, and I apologize because this tablet is acting crazy. Let me type in this. And what we're going to do here, guys, we're going to get this top off of this thing, and we're going to, I'm going to tell you what the food pairings are, if I can get this damn thing to work. In the meantime, while this thing's decided whether it's going to work or not, I'm going to get the cap off of it. Big bottle. Nice hiss. Not a lot of smoke coming out. Let's get it into the glass. Cuisine is barbecue, cheese and pepper, Monterey pepper jack, sharp blue cheddar, your pungent cheeses, gorgonzola limburger, meat, game, grilled meat, and salmon. And this glass bar snifter tulip oversized wine glass. I got my favorite snifter today, it's sovereign beer glass. And since it's at 12.4%, these fools say, yeah, you can sell it. You can. You can. But the hops are going to fade, guys. Just realize that. But this is a whopping beer. This is a monster beer. 12.4%. If you don't like a lot of alcohol notes, or you want your IPA or double IPAs a little more malty, sell it for a little while, and you'll figure out why we shouldn't sell her, because it'll get a lot maltier. But this thing being a huge beer as it is, it's going to keep for a while. But I would, in my honest opinion, the only reason I sell that because I've got one and I wanted to put that one in the closet for 2, 3, 4 years, and maybe even 5. But I ended up doing it last month just to see where it would go. So a good finger and a half, finger and a quarter of a head. Very clear. It is a deep amber color, almost to the red category. A lot of bubbles streaming up, which is evident by the head that it poured. Good looking beer. The 2017 edition of Doom. 12.4%. 100 IBUs. Let's get it to the nose. And guys, for something this fresh, I am getting some maltiness on the nose. Slight hint of maybe some grapefruit and some citrusiness in there, but it's not, to me, it's not a West Coast style. It's not that up in your face pine, grapefruit, pineapple, none of that. Big maltiness, I won't say big, a stronger maltiness than hop presence, even to be this fresh. A little disappointed in the aroma. I was kind of hoping this one was going to be West Coast, big up in your face hop profile. And it's not. But I will say this. Not getting a huge alcohol notes on the nose either, at 12.4%. But maybe a difference on the taste. Let's dive in and see what we got. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Rico. Thank you, my brother. This is a huge beer, guys. A little bit, tiny little bit, very subtle hint of alcohol. Not getting a lot of bourbon or anything like that. To me, Founders makes a lot of decent beers, but I'm just not sure this beer is worth what you have to pay for it. And it's right out of the fridge cold, so some of these notes, vanilla and the bourbon and maybe something else, coconut or something, may come out once it's warmed up to room temperature. But right now, cold out of the fridge. Nice sweetness on the back end, very barley wine or old ale-esque aroma and taste. It is pleasant. I will say there's nothing bad about the beer. I just wish it would be a little more hop forward, being an Imperial beer. But these guys are out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, so they're not on the West Coast. I don't know what hops they've used on this beer. I can think of 2 or 3, 4, maybe even 5 or 6 that I would probably prefer from them over this, and that are not this expensive. They're not in this huge monster bottle. But it's not too terribly expensive. Like I said, he told me what he paid, $12.99. $12.99 for it, and it's 12.4% in a huge bottle. Not astronomical. I mean, a little bit more than what you'd pay for 2 Budweisers in a bar, probably. Usually those are $5 a pop anyway. To be honest with you, I cannot tell the difference on the taste between the 12.4% and the 10% that I've done before. So it's very well hidden. Uh, and like I said, there's no big dating. They're not using a big bright yellow or white or blue writing on it to tell you that I can see. Only thing that I see is down beside the barcode it says 2017. So that's all the information they're giving you. So evidently it was done in the first part of the year, because here we are in June the 1st, and it's already been produced, and it was probably done in either April or May. So probably brewed at the end of last year and then put in the bourbon barrels for 4 months and then bottled. So maybe it was brewed in December, then the bourbon barrels January, February, March, April, and then bottled in April or May, somewhere in there. So that's just my guess. So well, let's sip on it for a while, let it warm up a little bit, and see if it changes my mind or if it changes any, and we'll be right back. Might help I turn this around the right way. Go! Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little left here. A nice beer. It is a nice beer. I don't think it's world class or outstanding or anything like that, because to me, my opinion, and it's just my opinion, to get a nice big hop aroma, and that's the whole reason we buy IPAs and double IPAs, is to get a nice hop aroma and taste to the beer. And then you take that and you put it in a bourbon barrel for 4 months or longer. This one's 4 months. The 4 months that the beer is sitting in those bourbon barrels, the hops are fading. So unless when you get it out of the barrel, you're going to re-dry hop it or double dry hop it or something like that, the hops have already faded substantially by the time it gets into the bottle. So if you like a East Coast style or an English style double IPA with a big ABV presence, 12.4%, just to get into the hammer lane quick, this would be an outstanding beer. But 12.4% is going to get you there quick. A great candidate to have at home, not to drink on tap somewhere or something like that, unless you just want to get in the hammer lane quick. To me, right off the bat, like I told you, I could think of several right off the bat that I think are better beers from these guys. KBS, CBS, Backwoods Bastard. They're IPAs or double IPAs that they want to put in bourbon barrels. The hops are going to fade while it's in those bourbon barrels. So when you get in, I don't say it's not a good beer. It's a very tasty beer. But I'm expecting more hop aroma and more hop taste to the beers. My personal opinion is I would not put an IPA or a double IPA in a bourbon barrel. And even if you did do that on this beer here, the bourbon notes are not outstanding. They're very subdued. I don't even think they put this in their first run bourbon barrel. And what I mean by that, a barrel that's not had beer in it before. So the bourbon is not outstanding. The hops are not outstanding. It is an easy drinking for 12.4%. I will say that. It's a well-made beer on top of that. They are giving the vintage 2017 on that. I would like to see more information, month, day, and a year, if we could get it, at least the month and the year. But already being June the 1st when I'm doing this, that tells me that, and for 4 months in the bourbon barrels, that they did this at the end of 2016, November or December when they brewed it. Then they put it in the bourbon barrels for 4 months, and they bottled it in April or May. So it's just not blowing me away, guys. It's not. I think it's a well-made beer. I think it's a very tasty beer. I think it's a beer that will put you in the hammer lane very quick, like I said. But from everything they've done to this beer to make it a $13 bottle of beer, which is a great big beer, which is a good deal for what you're getting. To be a hophead and to be a bourbon barrel kind of guy for the stouts and the porters, it's just not standing out in any one category or the other. So, but it is a well-made beer. It's very easy drinking for 12.4%. I mean, you could drink this very easily. You could drink the whole bottle. Then you would be shit-faced. Face down in the dirt. please don't drive if you're drinking this out in a bar or a brew pub on tap somewhere, unless you have somebody driving you home or whatever. You might get lucky, and then again you might have a serious problem. So I don't want to see anybody get into trouble. I don't know. Now that it's warmed up, I am getting a little bit of the bourbon. I am getting a little bit of coconut and vanilla. I am getting a slight hint of some hop presence there. It's not a malt bomb by any means. It is very tasty. It's very smooth. But it's not what I'm looking for in a double IPA. Even a barrel-aged double IPA. I would like to have more bourbon notes or more hop notes. And I'm not getting either on this beer. But I do think it's a well-made beer. I do think it's an A beer, but I don't think it's a 10 beer, guys. So I'm going to give this the A right down the middle, 95 for me on this one, guys. I'm just not a fan of bourbon barrel-aged IPAs or double IPAs because the time that's in the barrels, the hops fade. So that's what I'm thinking of on this beer. If you want to sell this beer, like I said, I've sold one for 4 years and reviewed it last month. It sells very well. I mean, if it doesn't have a super huge hop presence or a super huge bourbon notes fresh, you're not going to get those at 4 years or 5 years if you tried to cellar it, and it's still just as tasty. So if that's what they were shooting for, they hit the mark. They hit the nail on the head. But I either want to get more bourbon notes or more hop notes, or both, and I'm getting neither. So, but I do think it's a well-made beer. I'm not going to give it to 10. 9 for me, 95, right straight down the middle here. Over to Beer Advocate, they still have the 10%er listed, so I'm not going to read the grade because that's not what this is. It's a brand new version, different recipe, 12.4%. Over to Rate Beer, same deal, 10%. They don't have the new one listed, so they're out of the game. So both of these guys, both of these sites are out of here. Not even going to read the grades that they're giving it. Over to Untapped. Untapped has the 2017 listed, and they've had at least 10 people comment on this beer, and they're giving it a 4.13, which is basically their A- to A scale, and I don't agree with that. That's where I'm putting it. It is an A- to an A beer. It is very delicious. But like I said, I don't know if I personally, now that I've had the 2013 fresh, the 2013 aged, and now the 2017 edition, I do think they're A beer guys, but I don't think they're outstanding. I don't think they're 10s. I don't think they're A pluses. I can think of several other beers these guys do that are tastier beers to me. Just my opinion. So if you've had the brand new edition, the 2017 version at 12.4%, let me know what you think. This is the Dune 2017, and decent beer. It is. It is a good beer. I don't want it to be a downer or a wet blanket on the party. It is a tasty beer. Pick it up and try it for yourself. And if you've had it already, let me know what you think. Come on back tomorrow. Let's go see what's in the fridge.